Hello, everybody. Just seeing who's going to hop on. Hi, Ashley. Welcome. Welcome, 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 everyone. Happy solar eclipse. It's happening as we speak right now. Das Queen. That's cool. How's everybody doing today? Are we good? Hi, Rosie. Tell me, how are we doing? The eclipse energy is kind of at its peak at this moment. I'm trying to figure out. Tell me, how are we doing? The eclipse energy is kind of at its peak at this moment. I'm trying to figure out how to... I froze for a second there because I was turning on Do Not Disturb. So there's that. So hi, Kelly. Hi, Miranda. Hi, Susie. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Mimi. It is solar eclipse day. Don't worry, the world is not ending. So there's that. My name is Sarah. I'm a mom and an astrologist on here, and I thought I'd come in and do a check-in because honestly, that's kind of what moms do, right? We check in with our kids, or I guess the collective, I guess if you want to call it that way. And I'm sharing this live with my Patreon. Those that are in the top tier of my Patreon, I always mention because I moved this over to the YouTube channel as well. And I want to thank Jackie and Meg for being a part of that. We are going to be doing a Q&A talk for the full moon level about the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. That's going to be happening on the 20th, on Wednesday the 17th. So I'm super excited about that. It is Wednesday, right? Let me make sure I have dates. Dates are hard. So today I wanted to pop on for just a little bit. I have an event tonight, hence why I'm so dressed up. And just see how people are doing and what questions that you have about the astrology of this. Now, I live in Minnesota and it's super cloudy. In fact, it's kind of rainy out, so I'm not seeing anything. If you are seeing stuff, remember, make sure you wear glasses that are supposed to be what you wear. A lot of grocery stores have them, I've noticed. So there's that. Hi, Rainy. Hi, Kelly. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This isn't, the world isn't going to end, everything like that. It's just a day when we do have a new moon. However, I don't, if you've watched my previous videos about the do's and not advised, I don't like to say don't, because honestly, I'm a mom of 2 grown kids. I have a 19 and 22-year-old. Thank you for following me, Penny. And anytime I ever told them not to do something, they did it anyways. So these are my do's and not advised for this opening of the Aries. It's an Aries new moon solar eclipse. So do lean onto your intuition. Aries rules your head. It is forward movement. It is thinking in that way. So lean into that. Where it's going to affect your area of life is really dependent on where Aries is in your chart. If you go to my bio and you click the space underneath it, one of the things that I have there is a birth chart freebie. And in that birth chart freebie, I have a PDF of the houses and themes that each house represents. Because really, when you look at a birth chart, there's 3 major components. We have the planets, we have the signs, and we have the houses. And as an astrologer, we're just looking to see what's connected to what. I personally think that because of who's involved in this beautiful solar eclipse, we have the ability to really lean into some healing work that needs to happen. And let's be honest, a lot of the healing work that people lean into really evolves with how you think about yourself, if you really want to think about it that way. The reason why I say that is Chiron, who is the wounded healer in astrology. It looks like a little K. And let me see if I can find how to flip this camera. All right, so this is the chart of the moment. So this is what I read when I do birth charts. So if a baby was born on April 8th in Plymouth, Minnesota at 1:32 p.m., this would be their chart. So they would be a new moon baby. They would have their north node right next to it. And that's why we have an eclipse, by the way, is this degree of the north node is super close to the degree of the sun and the moon. That's why there's eclipses. This little guy right here, that's Chiron, the little key. And it's because he's involved in this solar new moon eclipse is how I feel like there's a great potential for healing. Hi, Lindsay. How are you doing, my friend? So I feel like there's a lot of ability for healing, especially old trauma. And like I said, Aries rules the head. We have Mercury retrograde happening right now, also in Aries, so it's helping us redo the thought process. Yeah, it's starting to get a little dark here too. The peak of it already happened, and it said that around 2 o'clock Central Time is when we're supposed to be getting it here. And we only have like a 70% coverage. It's super cloudy here, so I really doubt that we're ever going to really see a whole lot. But I get to do Springfest later tonight with Dora, Lindsay, so that's why I'm dressed up. Do you like my outfit? Is it a good fit? So I thought I'd pop on and just do a little bit of astrology for everybody who has questions. Hello, Nikki. Hello, April. So with this new moon, solar eclipse happening in Mercury retrograde, which really isn't that far from it, and the Chiron next to it having the Cazimi as well, really lends it to be a lot of internal healing if you wish it to have it. A lot, again, really depends on where Aries is in your chart. It's pretty, have fun, yes, thank you. I like it too. Rich likes it as well. Hi, April. So, for example, if this eclipse is happening in your first house, you might notice it where it's a little bit more about yourself, about your body, about how you view yourself, because the first house is all about that. So you would look to see where 19 degrees of Aries is in your chart. And if you don't have a chart, the freebie in my bio teaches you how to make one on astro.com. That's what I use. If this Aries eclipse is happening in your second house, well, that could be about your personal finances, your personal safety, about what things that you do. A lot of it is about personal finances, so you might be reevaluating. You might be thinking about how you're going to do your investments, things of that nature. Third house is communication. It is how you process. It's how you think. It's how you take in information. And by the way, if your Mercury is in Aries natally, or any fire sign, you have very quick thoughts to begin with. So this Mercury retrograde probably is causing you to slow down, and it might be frustrating for you as a result. If this Aries eclipse is happening in your fourth house, it might be about your physical home. It might be about your family of origin. Fifth house is more about children and your fun and your creativity. You might be sparking some new ideas on how your creativity could be going forward with it. If it's in your 6th house, that could be about your health. It could be about how you make your money on a day-to-day basis. All of that is possible. 7th house could be about relationships. Relationships do not just mean romantic. They can mean any kind of partnership that is contractual. Your family of origin, not contractual. Unless, I guess, technically, I don't know. I'd have to ask about that. I don't want to speak that into existence yet. Contractual agreements would be business partnerships, marriages, your children you give birth to, or even adopt. No, they're not contractual. They're part of your family. They're either going to fall in your 4th or 5th house, depending on what applies. 8th house could be about other people's money. It could be investments. We do have taxes that is due here in the United States on April 15th, so maybe that might be on your mind. 9th house is about how your belief system works. It also is teacher, higher learning, learning things. You might want to take on a new chapter of your life of how you want to move forward with it. 10th house is how you show yourself in the world. A lot of times we talk about that in the sense of the career, but ultimately how you want to present yourself doesn't always jive with what your career is too. For example, one of my mentors talked about how her MC line is Cancer. And so she really started to show herself as a mom when she had her kids. And that's when she had some planetary alignments that happened as well. So she showed up differently after she had children. For me, my MC line is a Capricorn, which I guess means I'm a hard worker. So there's that. 11th house could be community. It could be about your friends. It could be about causes that you are passionate about and things that you want to move forward with. And then 12th house, where my Aries is, could be also about spirituality, about the unknown. There could be some fears that you need to let go of so that you can move forward into the path. 12th house stuff can be also like unseen enemies. It could be lots of things like that. So let me know, and if any of that is helpful to you. If you have a desire to have a reading with me, the space you click under my name shows you how you can do that. I do them on Zoom as well as in person on Fridays and Saturdays at a crystal shop near where I live, and the options are all there. I also have a Patreon where I have tutorials on how to read your own birth chart, and eventually I'm going to have in there how you can read the chart for your child. Now, when you're reading, I have had special training to be able to read birth charts for parents. I'm also a past educator. I taught 7th grade remedial reading for 14 years. And so when I can have a consult with a parent, I make sure it's developmentally appropriate. I'm never going to tell Lindsay, who's my friend who's watching this right now, I'm never going to tell her, hey, Lindsay, your son is going to be an astronaut. Because, well, one, when it makes sense for your son, because I know your son and I know you personally. And two, that's just not helpful. The things that I do in my readings with individuals is I help them just understand their energy. And there's so much out there. And what I've come to find with astrology is when you understand the energy you have inside of you, you have the ability to use it that much better. So if that kind of thing is your jam, feel free to follow me. Feel free to like this live. Feel free to do whatever. I do recommend doing an oracle card pull today. And I was just listening to the Alchemist Inkwell. Two of my mentors do that podcast. It's a really great podcast. Emily Dexter, who is Liker of Words on all social media platforms, and Crystalline, who I think has changed their name on the platforms to Modern School of Astrology. But if you look up the real Crystalline, you probably will find her. They run the Alchemist Inkwell podcast. And one of the things that Emily suggested that you do is a card pull of, with oracle cards or tarot or whatever cards you want to work with, of what you were before the eclipse, what is the energy that you had in it for you, with you, however you want to phrase it, before the eclipse, the energy of what is the eclipse going for you, I guess is one way to do it. And then the last one is, and I didn't catch the last one, but the last one I'm going to do is what is in store for me. Because honestly, this solar eclipse is the end of a cycle that will start up again in 6 months. And to be honest, the energy that we see from this is predicted to not be shown to us for 3.5 years. So anything that is going to take that long to get percolated means that you still have time. You have time to just be and to receive and to just learn what you need to know for your highest and best. So if you wish to be part of a group oracle card pull for that idea, tap the screen. Say, I want to be part of it, so that you can acknowledge it. I don't do anything without consent. So I'm going to be pulling a card for the collective of what is the energy we had before the eclipse, what is the energy that we had during the eclipse, and what is the energy that we have moving forward. So I'm going to pull 3 cards. I am using the Wisdom of the Oracle deck, and I will read the thing, even though I'll interpret it as well. So if you wish to be part of this collective oracle card pull, please feel free to tap the screen or say yes to yourself in the comments or out loud, whatever works. I don't work without consent. And if you're watching this on the replay, you can see if this applies to you and you can say yes as well. All right, so here we go. What is the collective that are watching this replay? Not 3 cards, thank you. Before the eclipse. All right. How about during the eclipse? And after. All right, so before the eclipse, we have not for you. Lindsay, can you tell me if it reads right? Otherwise, I'll have to mirror this screen. And it actually was on its side like this. I'm going to read both to see what resonates for me to share. Lindsay, let me know. Can you read this or is it backwards? So I can mirror the screen. All right, so before the eclipse, what this is this is a collective reading for anybody who wishes to have it. And the first card I pulled was, what were we before the eclipse? And the message was not for you, which I thought was kind of funny. There are times when it appears no matter how deeply you desire something, no matter how hard you work at something, the result is that you seek will always seem to elude you. It's as if you don't really get to be in the game and you feel like you're always watching from the sidelines. The appearance of this card indicates you are not going to attain what you want right now, that indeed your dreams for the exact thing will not be fulfilled. This is a time to radically accept that not everything you want is available to you when you want it. Take it to heart, for there are benevolent forces who desire the best for you and have much clearer ideas for the highest good. Rejection is God's protection. Something much better will make truly happy on this way. Trust in this. So if you felt stuck, if you feel like it is, let's see if I can mirror my video. Well, it says it's on. If you feel like things just are not working for you right now, know that it's okay. Not everything is meant to work for you at the moment that you want to happen? Can you be open to not being in control? I'm a control freak, which is why I laughed when I saw this, because there's been things, it just feels like, I don't know about you, but for me personally, it feels like I'm in a holding pattern. So it'll be very interesting how this unravels. So this next card is the Observer. And the one thing I've been talking a lot, hi Courtney, about in my videos about this eclipse is, can you be an observer of what is out there for you? And I love the fact that this came out as where we are as a result of this eclipse. So let me read it to you. 49. Most people see the world through personal lens. They closely identify with their feelings, experiences, so much so that they come to believe that there's only one reality. There are times when you need to distance in order to gain perspective, to understand your circumstances, and have a more neutral vantage point. Now is one of those times in your life. This is a perfect moment for you to begin to do some exploring instead of only considering yourself, considering what you need to understand about the conditions, people, culture, environment you're engaged with now. You'll be so happy you did. Illumination is by miracle, and you'll seek what you need to find. I think this is perfect given the fact that we have Mercury retrograde. You might notice and see the triggers that are happening for you. Mercury is in Aries right now, going backwards. So triggers could be coming up right and left. How you work with those is completely up to you. My philosophy is, if I start to feel that trigger happen, and sometimes it does, sometimes you can prepare for it, sometimes you can't. But what I've found is by meditating in the morning or whenever works great for timing for me, that really helps in dealing with triggers when they come up. If you have a way that you deal with triggers when they come up for you that you wish to share, feel free to put it in the comments. It might help somebody else who's reading this later. So there's that. So where are we moving forward? I laughed first when I saw this. So this is the Fates. And the biggest thing that I've shared on all my social media platforms and in my newsletter is we don't have control over the energy of the eclipses. You don't. I heard today that even God shuts his eyes during an eclipse, if you believe in God. So, and one of the things I shared in my newsletter was it could give you the trip you need, not the trip you want. So if you're wishing for something to happen, it may not happen for you the way you want it to, or even when you want it to, because the energy is very chaotic. So I love the fact that the Fates card came up as a result of where we are moving forward. And this is the Serenity Prayer sums up the meaning of this card. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. There are things in your life you will have no control over. The conditions are brought on by the evolution of the collective by nature, and by your past experiences may be fated, preordained by spirit for a greater purpose that you cannot understand in this lifetime. And it may not even be in your cards to understand why certain things occurred. But you can accept the mysteries and work with those events and in your current circumstances have to teach you. This is the wisdom contained in the Serenity Prayer. So all of that is out for us. Again, where we were before the eclipse is not for you. So if you felt stagnant, like things just are not moving forward, maybe it wasn't time for you to move forward for it. Where we are during the eclipse as the observer, can you just sit back and watch? Can you pay attention? It is a solar eclipse, so it may not even affect you. You might see it more in the headlines, especially since Aries rules the head. It might even be the head of CEOs. And then the fates of where we are moving next, it's not up to us. Can you roll with it? So that is the community card pull for this wonderful eclipse. Let me know your thoughts on that. So, was that helpful? Let me know. And if you missed it, don't worry. I will put this on the replay on YouTube after this wonderful live. So, it is my hope that today does find you some peace. You likely will see your energy level increase after today if you felt like you didn't have any energy yesterday. I do invite you to move your body if things get hard, especially while the moon is in Aries. Tomorrow she'll move into Taurus, and it may feel like there's a welcome relief from all the energy and anything that may have accumulated today. But you are loved. Know that. You are honored. Know that. And know that you're exactly where you need to be for the moment. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day.